what were those sort of things? You talk about self-belief a lot. Like there's a huge part, and a lot of the people that you help, most of the time their biggest problem is they just don't believe in themselves. Besides that self-belief, what are some of those things, whether it's the technical things or just little things you did when you're in the sale that were different than what other people did, that you realize, hey, I could take this and help people and we could all make a shit ton of money together? What are some of those things that you realize, hey, I do this a little bit differently that helped advance the sale forward, help me get more closings? What are some of those tactics that you use and you teach in your trainings?
Yeah, well, I'm going to give you a couple things. Number one, before you even go to ever talk to anybody or answer a phone or go face to face, whatever you're going to do, you got to have a delusional belief that everybody can buy, came to buy, and will buy as long as I do my job. So you need to know and envision in advance how this bitch is going to go down. It's like before you hit a golf ball, you already know where it's going to go. You're like, dude, it's going to go right there, and that's where it's going to go. And then you do what you've been trained to do, and you hit it, and it goes there. Okay? Most salespeople don't do that. They hope that something's going to work, and that's exactly why they get their ass dusted. So some things that I did is, number one, I have a delusional belief. Everybody can buy, came to buy, and will buy as long as I do my job. So like I know going into this, I'm shutting this shit down. They're going to buy something. That's the way it's going to go. And then I start. Hope you're having the best day of your life. Then I'll answer that phone. Does that make sense? So delusional belief is number one. Number two, have a great attitude. Dude, people just don't have good attitudes anymore. It's like everybody's just doing shit nowadays because they have to do it. It's like, dude, we're sick of your fucking shitty ass attitude. Have a good attitude and look, how about, can I get a little more? I give a fuck. Okay? Like people just don't seem like they care, and it's pissing me off. And there's no reason that people hate salespeople or hate people because they don't freaking look like they even care or want to be there. So have a damn good attitude and people will love you. Now, if you have a great attitude, if you have a delusional belief, and then you go on to do whatever you're going to do, here's some goals. Number one, you got to find out how people heard about you. Okay? Because it's super important, because that'll let you know where to take them, because you know where they came in from. Does that make sense? Like, did they come in from over here? Did they come in from over here? Did a buddy tell them about it? Like, you can use all that shit as leverage. And then number two, dominant buying motive. Dominant buying motive. Like, what's the number one thing that's driving them to actually get a hold of you or reach out or request for information or drive into the showroom? Whatever it is, right? Like, what do they want? So that dominant buying motive is called the goals. So in order for anybody to make a decision to buy something, their goals need to be at the center of the decision they make. So your goal is that you need to constantly remind them, like it's life insurance. You know, obviously you requested some information on life insurance, so I know that it's super important. So in the event that if you were to pass or die, that you leave some money behind for the people that you love. Would you agree? Thank you for reaching out today. By the way, death isn't uncontrollable. We can control a lot of things, but one of the things we can't control is death. Would you agree? Would you like to know how I know if life insurance is right for you or not, and whether you should purchase it or not? Would you like to know? Yes. See, I'm framing you. In the last 30 seconds of your life, if you knew you were going to pass, on the worst day of your family's life, when your husband, your wife, and your children are left, right? Whoever it is that's behind that we're leaving this money behind for, do you want to make sure that when you're gone, they're left with the tax-free check to be able to make it and live and support themselves without you? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. Then we get life insurance. That's simple. If you don't want them to have a check, then we don't get it. Does that make sense? Okay. And since death isn't uncontrollable and nobody can decide when we're going to die, then we need to move forward and do this now. So you can sleep like a baby tonight, knowing if something happened, they're taken care of. Would you agree? Yes. Okay, so I just closed you guys on that. Okay, but I want to tell you how I did it. I took the goals, your goals, what you want, and I kept it at the center of the decision. Does that make sense? Which means that the decision, the goals that you had was if something were to happen, that there would be some money left behind for the people that you love on the worst day of their life. Okay? Now, what if they say, well, I found it cheaper with another insurance company? See, because salespeople get objections. You can say, I totally understand. Hypothetically, if you were to die and you didn't do business with me, which my insurance company, every check that we've issued out when somebody has died has paid, and they've never ended up in probate. But because money was important to you, so you decided to go the cheap road and save some money. I don't like cheap stuff. Do you? See, so I don't like that we're talking about cheap stuff, but let's say that you did go with the cheaper method and you died and went to heaven and you found out that your kids never got a check because it was stuck in probate for 5 years and it never paid out. And you paid the premium for years for them to get that check. How would you feel? Well, to ensure that you never have to, well, number one, you couldn't do anything about it because you'd be in heaven and your kids would suffer. Okay? So to ensure that you don't ever get pissed off and have to go through that, we need to make sure that you go with an insurance company that does have a high delivery rate, who checks don't end up in probate, and who makes sure that whenever people sign up with their policies, they actually get the check when you're gone. Now, when I hang up the phone right now, or when I'm done, I'm actually going to call your children, which are beneficiaries, and let them know that their father made a decision that in the event that something happens, that there'll be an insurance check in place so they don't have to panic or worry. And they'll know that I'll be the one calling them to issue them the check so that they'll know what to do. They'll also have my number if something happens. Is that okay? Great. See, I've already closed you now. Now I pre-closed you to told you I'm going to call your beneficiary. Right? And I'm going to let your family know that you loved them so much that you made a decision to go ahead and put something in place for them because you're such a great dad. This can work in any business. But notice I keep the goals at the center of the decision. Salespeople don't sell this way anymore. You know why? They're all amateurs. So this is how I teach people to sell. So I'm going to give you guys some stuff here, which is cool. We train 500,000 salespeople around the country. I train salespeople literally how to go out and build themselves a great life. Now, when you sell, it allows you to get a girlfriend. It allows you to go get a job. It allows you to hire the right people for your team. It allows you to sell somebody to believe in your vision or your dream. It allows you to do all this stuff, man. Like it plays out all the days of your life, man. Like, dude, you're always selling. Like, when are you never not convincing somebody to believe in what you want them to believe in? Am I right? And like, people think they're not in sales, and that's why everybody's so fucking average. Like, dude, like, people need reasons and excuses why they should say yes to what you're asking for. And that's what sales is. And it's so good, man. Do you think a wife wants to continually be sold on her husband, why she married him, do you think she needs to be recommitted to him every day? Yes. Well, it's his job to continually give her reasons and excuses why they're married together, to keep her sold on him all the days of her lives. Because if you don't, you'll be sleeping in the same bed and you're miles apart, which is what most marriages are. It's like, dude, the secret is sales. Anyways, you guys keep rolling. But I'm just telling you, showing you guys that with insurance, now that you can understand how a sale goes down, like that's how I close every deal. That's how I broke every record. And that's how I teach people right now how to crush it in every industry. So if you're door knocking, like, I can knock on anybody's door and get them to say yes and sell them on the spot. I can do anything. It doesn't matter. There's nothing I can't do once I understand that I speak for a living and that I make money using my words, tying them together and letting them flow like water to get people to understand my delivery of what I want them to know or what I want them to do.